Welcome to Discourse and Dialogue, our second podcast. We're going to consider the testimony given by Joseph Maguire, Acting Director of National Intelligence, and the defense he made not just of the whistleblower complaint, but of the whistleblower himself. He testified before the House Intelligence Committee. The committee accused him, one of the first things they did, of course, was to accuse him of violating the law. He was supposed to be the scapegoat, and his staff was supposed to be the scapegoat. So the first thing they did to this man with a lot of integrity, this man with a respectable history, the first thing they did, of course, was to accuse him of violating the law for not immediately submitting the whistleblower complaint to the committee as required by law. Instead, before reporting the complaint to Congress, he first gave it to the legal division of the Office of the President. The President, who was in fact the subject of the report. Why, when his duty was clearly prescribed, would he give the target of the complaint and the powerful enemy of the people and the people's Constitution, prohibiting treason, why would he provide them an avenue of escape by way of damage control in the face of the political bomb he was about to deliver? He said in his defense, and I quote, "I believe everything involved in this matter is totally unprecedented," unquote. It's a valid defense because it was unprecedented. He was delivering to the subject of a complaint the complaint. He was delivering to the legal division of the executive exactly what was going to be they and the president was technically going to be charged with before going to Congress, whose job it is to oversee the matter. This is the immediate circumstance under which Maguire found himself when directed to submit the whistleblower complaint. His actions appear to be a defilade strategy and may be seen as clear strategic necessity given the compromised position of the whole of the American government in its failure to allay a militated, gradual takeover of the government by crypto-fascist financial interests. If we take a look at the man and the circumstance, he had only, I believe, been in the job for about 4 or 5, 6 months, something like that. He came from a military background. His ethics and his code of conduct was, for most of his life and since his youth, based on the military, right? And the military code of conduct provides some insight and interpretation to Maguire's comportment to the complaint. In fact, his comportment and his attitude could be traced back some several thousand years to the Tao Te Ching, the art of war, one of the historic documents that he would have been trained in. And today's interpretation of it within the military code of conduct can be interpreted this way, that the first responsibility of a soldier is to his country or the master of his fate, whichever is most in immediate danger. As the soldier is the foundation of the state and the protector of the people, and as a member of the state and its people, therefore, the first and primary responsibility overriding all law, rule, or regulation is a circumstance of urgency and immediate threat. The responsibility of every officer is the safety, protection, and provisioning of the soldiers under his command, on whom his own existence relies. It is in this context that we can understand what he did and why he did it. He went to the opposition. He went to the people who are going to be attacked by this. Now, the Tao Te Ching advises generals that if they know they can win a battle and win the day, so to speak, it is a good idea to provide or make available a means for your enemy to either surrender or escape so that you can take the day. If you corner your enemy, he has no choice but to fight until death. That can be quite expensive. One of the best ways to protect your own soldiers is to win the objective with the least number of casualties. In this particular circumstance, by offering up to the executive the means for dealing with the problem before he even reported to those who were going to attack the administration, he's done a very important thing. He gave to them what he would have to deliver, and that would attack that administration. By doing that, he in fact eliminates himself and the people with him, the whistleblower, from in fact being the target. That did not stop the administration from attacking the whistleblower, but it fell on deaf ears. There really wasn't much to complain about. It was done correctly, right? It followed procedure, and it was legitimate. Not only that, they said, go ahead, deliver the report. They allowed it to be delivered. That eliminated him and his people from being the target of either side. This was, I think, very tactically wise. This is pretty much as far as I am able to go with this analysis. You who have a background in the military or are in the military, and the experience of it, could perhaps take this defense of Maguire further upon a review of the military code of conduct. I am asking you to respond. Do not let the administration on either side of the aisle use Maguire and the people that provided this report to use him as a scapegoat, to kill the messenger, as the saying goes. The issue before the country, the issue in front of the Congress, is subversion by the President, the Vice President, the Attorney General, and the Secretary of State. Maguire's violation of a legal mandate which those men, the administration, control, was a necessary circumstantial violation of a protocol just for the purpose of, one, protecting the integrity of the protocol and the need for it. By not following it, it came up as a first issue. By bringing it up as a first issue, even as a criticism of him, which may have taken place or may take place in a court-martial, but it won't anymore, because by him bringing this stuff and going before Congress, defending him, testifying, he eliminated himself as the target in the misdirection of the issue. So by violating it, he strengthened it. The best that the committee could do is say, you should have brought it to us. Now, when they say you should have brought it to us, they're committing themselves to do something about it. So he has placed the trigger in the hands of Congress, and he is effectively taking himself and his staff out of the crossfire. Two, in doing what he did, he protected the soldiers whose lives are endangered by the administration's subversion of the law. Not just the Ukrainian soldiers, but American soldiers and anyone whose job it was to deliver the arms. That is the seriousness of what the administration was doing, was putting people in harm's way, putting soldiers in harm's way. Third, his protection of the men and women for whom Maguire is responsible, that they may do their work without punishment for valued achievement. It is their job to do what they did. It is their job to report wrongdoing. And they should not be made the victim of the crossfire that ensues. In the next podcast, we'll get into that in a little bit more detail by looking at the complaint itself. Thank you.